Hey guys, got a box of vintage candy in. I have 6 lots coming of vintage candy, just like this. This will be the first one for the week. Hopefully the other 5 will get here this week. If not, this weekend, But check back with me all week. We're gonna dive in here now. 3 or 4 of these lots are sort of junker lots, I'll be honest. There's some damage to some of the candy containers, and I know this one, like half of them have damage, but I only paid $10 for this. So let's go ahead and see what came in the mail today. Also got some trading cards that just came in, so got a few things to open for you. So give me 1 second and get this baby opened. Now, I don't mind buying damaged vintage candy. For one thing, a lot of this stuff is really old, and candy will leak out, and plus some of the packages that these candies were made from or put in are fragile, and they wrinkle and they tear and all this shit. And it's just part of being a candy collector to just kind of put up with this, and I've kind of become an amateur historical restorer throughout the years. Anyway, let's see what came in here. Now, while this is a damaged candy lot, you can see a stain here and some other stuff we'll see. It definitely has some good ones in there. So I kind of actually want to save this to sort of the end. Let me go ahead and get some of this other stuff out. So first thing out of the gate is a 1993 Topps. Man, I don't want to open this. It's a Topps Flintstones candy container. This is one of those I think is a little too toy-like. I mean, it literally looks like a McDonald's toy. They might have even made some McDonald's toys that are almost identical to this. I'm pretty sure they did. But anyway, this was made for the Flintstones movie. I believe it came out in 1993. But yeah, this was put out by Topps. Hopefully you can see it in there. Next up is a very cool one, but it's damaged. This is going to be the Air Gummy. Dates on these are, I think, 1993, 1994-ish, made by Berserk Works. But yeah, it's supposed to look, or it's supposed to go in line with Airwalks, or just the whole sneaker phenomenon that was happening. I don't know how old you guys are, but it was in high school. Air Jordans, and then all the skateboarding shoes like Airwalks and stuff like that. But inside is 2 shoes made out of gummy candy. But I've actually never seen a damaged one before. Usually the candy's fossilized, but this one I guess got wet. Still cool. Next up are these 2. I guess I will open these though. These are really neat. These are made by Amaral. It'd just be safer to say mid-90s. Mint condition. That's the original. I'm sorry, wait. No, it's got a candy stain on this barcode. I'll probably just take that off. But anyway, other than that, it's perfect. But yeah, these are hanging gum. That the concept is that this is a lanyard that you would wear as a necklace, and whenever you want a piece of bubble gum, you could just reach down to the pendant area and get out a stick of bubble gum. This one is the neon orange. I'm not seeing that barcode. I'm thinking back to my examples. They don't always have the barcode, so I'm just gonna peel this off, and I'll end up with a mint hanging gum. But anyway, there you go. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I paid $10 for this box of candy. I knew going in that it had a lot of damage. We have 3 of these. I believe it's 1993 Trolley burgers. That are UV damaged to hell. We know this because the plastic should be clear And when you see plastic that's turned to yellow, it's UV damage. It does randomly have a perfect label on the bottom, so I guess I can work with that. But for the most part, these are melted and pretty gnarly. But I'm still going to sell them. And the burger has completely melted into a ball. I've actually never seen that either. Whoever had these must have had them in the attic for years for that to happen. These as well have damage. These are, early to mid 90s, maybe 93, 94 bedrock boulders. This one's in pretty good shape. This one has damage. It's even leaking inside this baggie that the dealer put over there. But I'll get that figured out. These were made by the Creative Confections Company, who are responsible for a lot of the 90s favorites like Watermelon Kid. I might have some of those around. Never mind, scratch that. I can't reach them. All right. And then, yeah, these are damaged as well. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and then we'll look at some of the better stuff. So these were made by Uniconfis. It's the whole set of the their bubblegum floppy disks, but as you can see, they're severely damaged. This happens to be Mortal Kombat parody. I'll see what I can do with this. I'll just go ahead and tell you how you could maybe attempt to maybe try to salvage this is to completely open it, take out the gum, and then soak this in water, and then just pat dry it over and over and over till it lightens up a little bit. But probably won't ever get there. This one, it's got leakage here, so same thing. Even though the paper label, thank God, is perfect, I'll still need to open this up and try to get the gum out and just clean this up. But this one should be a good one. This was has severe damage there as well. All right, I'll put that right there. And okay, next up is a Topps Fred Flintstone candy container. It's leaking as well. This is sort of the junker lot. I'll just leave that right there. Hopefully you can see it fine. But this was put out by Topps at the same time as this. I guess they had the license for the movie or something, and so Topps put out some things for that. Okay, so that's a lot of the damaged stuff out of the way, but this stuff should be really clean, and there's actually some really good stuff in here. Again, keep in mind I only paid $10. These are actually pretty amazing. These are Smarties. I love Smarties. They come in like little candy rolls. These are made by the CD company, I would imagine. Yeah. CD. They're the people that make Smarties. But yeah, these are actually really rare candy necklaces. What I really love about these are not tied to, say, Popeye or some movie or cartoon. These are generic, and that's what I really wanted. Actually, I don't think I even had one of these. Maybe one, though. So that's really nice. And maybe the best part is there's two, so I can keep one, I can sell one. Okay. Next up are more CD candies. I believe everything in this bag is actually CD. We'll see. It's either going to be Tom Foods or CD, but these are CD, I'm sure. Scratch that, Tom's Foods. So these two companies put out powdered candies. So I don't know if you remember these, but they're filled with candy powder. These are all sealed, making them pretty desirable, actually. I'll get around $15 a piece for these. And that's only if they're sealed, and that's only if they have the tags. The tags on these are better than you could ever, could wish for. They're not yellowed. They're beautiful. I might actually take these tags off and put them on my examples in the collection. I might have to check and make sure if these are better than ones I even have. But yeah, anyway, so we have the strawberry, orange. These are plums, grape, which is turned brownish, pineapple. All these are filled and sealed, and banana. Also in that bag is this candy watch made for B International, a distributor I know very well and have a ton of stuff from. They're prolific. This does have some cello damage. It's not completely ripped, and so I'm going to preserve this. I'm probably just going to keep this, though, to be honest. I like the digital nature of the candy watch. It actually has some novelty factor because you think of watches as being sort of like a tech. It is tech. And so to see this techy digital font on candy watch, it's just enough novelty factor to make it desirable. And then the last two are bangers. So these were made by the CD company, and these are the candy lipsticks. Very desirable. I typically sell these for $24 a piece, $25 a piece. Now these are the slightly newer 90s ones, but it doesn't really matter. Now I'm not selling these. I've never actually seen the duo packs before. That's so cool. So yeah, I'll be keeping all these. There you go, CD. All right, we'll do a little recap. Oh, we got a trading card. Let's just wait 1 second. Let's go ahead and see what came in. Just a little recap at least. So I bought this entire lot. Not those. Those are wildly valuable. Yeah, I literally sold one of these for $800 a few days ago. I bought this entire lot right here you're seeing for $10, $10.50 I think it was. Now half of them are damaged. We looked at those. The hamburger trolley. Trolley, if you don't know, are the makers of like gummy worms. You might have seen Trolley gummy worms, but these are the 90s hamburgers. All have severe UV damage and melting problems. I got the whole set of Uniconfist floppy disks, but 2 are extremely damaged and 1 just will need a little bit of TLC. I got the undesirable Tops Flintstones candy containers. I have a ton of these. Everyone has a ton of those. There's almost no value there. Got a couple of these Bedrocks, which is tied to this movie, but it's 2 different companies. These were made by a different company, not Tops. And it represents just a rock, a boulder. One has damage, one doesn't. We got these 2 pretty damn desirable. I can't remember if I mentioned that. Yeah, these, a lot of people love these, including myself, but these are mid-90s Amaral hanging gum with sealed gum packs inside, and everything looks really good. Got an Airwalk gummy with damage. There's not much I can do about this one. I think it's something, and the candy in there is dry, I can tell you. So there's no point in opening this. I'm just going to try to sell it as is. And then the rest of this is almost exclusively by the CD Candy Company, though these were made by one of the competitors called Tom's Foods, but still sort of the same vibe. These 2 banger candy necklaces, sealed in cello, Smarties brands. A candy watch with a really cool font on it. That's going to be 80s. All these powdered candies with with all sealed with powder and their original tags. And then my favorite things of this box are these candy lipsticks, still sealed in their cello dual packs. Let's go ahead and see what cards came in. Should be some rookies. Get them out here. First up is a Jordan Alvarez. I saw him play in Toronto. We went to the Blue Jays game. It's been a couple weeks ago, and yeah, he's quite the hitter, man. They walked him intentionally twice, and then they really wouldn't throw him a strike, honestly. And then the Aaron Judge rookie. All right. All right, guys, well, hope you enjoyed that. Again, check back with me. I've got 5 more candy lots coming. There's some really good lots, but there's also going to be a few more like this, where there's going to be some damaged stuff and some little gems mixed in. That's actually pretty normal for this category. A lot of this stuff gets damaged. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Russ Van out.